Laker fans, welcome to another preview video. We're going to get right into Houston here, but first, obviously, would be remiss to mention Luka handling business, 45 points against the Mavs. So the Lakers handling business against a Mavs team that was very feisty, had a lot of bigs, a lot of size going for them, and needed to win themselves. So now the Lakers, as we all know, one win away from getting that number 3 seed that the Lakers have been trying to get for a good portion of time now. Can't get the number 2 because the Houston Rockets, who the Lakers will be playing at Crypto, have the number 2 seed. They locked that up. They had a really good last couple weeks, beat the Warriors, beat Oklahoma City 2 days before the Lakers actually beat OKC last week. So Rockets have been playing good ball. It's tough to get a read on how this team will do in the playoffs. We'll get to that in a second, but last game, they rested everyone because they clinched it earlier this week, the number 2 seed. They played the Clippers. They lost by 17. They didn't play anyone. They literally rested everyone. So, of course, now people are playing against the Lakers. It is really kind of absurd. Everyone who's seen this on Twitter, the fact that every team's injured players somehow come back to play the Lakers. It's pretty crazy how that happens. It's still happening. They might not have everyone, though. So they will get some players back. Jalen Green will be back for this game. Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson. So some big-time scores. But on the injury report for them, still going to have some people out. Jae'Sean Tate is out with an ankle injury. He's a nice player. Şengün, Van Vliet, and Jabari Smith are all questionable. Şengün is questionable for personal reasons. Seems like Van Vliet and Jabari Smith as well, kind of just making up some injuries for the injury report. But so they might not play. That's obviously a massive deal. Şengün is a really good player. Leads the team in rebounds. Kind of a poor man's Jokic. Not going to say he's Jokic, but he really plays like it. He's a really passing, pass first, but can also score big. Really does it all. He runs the offense from the center of the floor, kind of like Jokic does, but obviously not as talented as Jokic. But so it doesn't look like he's going to play. Questionable, but I'm assuming they're going to rest him because there's really no reason to play him. Van Vliet, point guard, signed the big contract a couple years ago. Used to play at Wichita State, played for the Raptors, came over. Not having the greatest year, but still kind of runs the offense. One of the veteran presence on the team, even though he's only in his late 20s. And Jabari Smith, really high draft pick from a few years ago. He's a nice scorer. So if they're missing all those guys, obviously makes it a lot easier for the Lakers. On the Lakers side of things, on the injury report, LeBron is probable and Kleber's out. So same kind of thing going on there with the injury report. Nothing new. The Lakers are favored by 9.5 with the point total set at 225.5. The fact that the Lakers are favored by 9.5 makes me think that Şengün and Van Vliet and Jabari Smith are not going to play. Because if they were, the Lakers would still be favored. I bet it'd be around 4 or 5 points, something like that. But a 9.5 makes me think that they're not going to play. But still, they are going to get some guys back. As I mentioned, Jalen Green, leading scorer on the team, little over 21 points a game. He's a really fun player to watch. He's really talented, really kind of ascended. From a couple years ago, everyone thought he was a draft bust. People in Houston were not thrilled with the pick, but he's really taken a next step. They've surrounded him with some really young talent. And this Houston team for years has been building with high draft picks. I mean, Jabari Smith and Jalen Green, and then hitting on Şengün, then finally signing Van Vliet, Cam Whitmore even. So they've been building a lot of these years, and they finally kind of put it together this year. But Jalen Green kind of leads that with about 21 points per game. Dylan Brooks, we all know what he does. He's out there to play defense, to antagonize. He can hit some shots at times, but as what the Lakers did a couple weeks ago when the Lakers played him, they were daring him to shoot threes. They're okay with Dylan Brooks shooting threes. He's not a very good shooter. He's really out there for kind of an intensity factor, but he talks a lot of mess, and I'm sure he will be doing that at Crypto because he'll be getting booed, I'm sure, all night tomorrow night. And Amen Thompson, really fun young player. He's his brother Asar. They came in the league at the same time. He's averaged around 14 points per game this year. He's taken a step as a scorer. So basically all their young players, Jalen Green, Şengün, Thompson, all these guys have really taken a step up, which is why they have the number 2 seed this year. Then coming off the bench, some guys that will move into the starting lineup. Assuming Şengün is out, I'm expecting Steven Adams, longtime vet. He's played for Oklahoma City. I bet he slides up in there. And then Jock Landale, actually, who doesn't get much time. I expect him to probably get some time on the bench because he will end up being the backup center if Şengün is out. Tari Eason, really nice young player off the bench, averages about 12 points a game. He'll get a lot of run. He might slide in the starting lineup. Cam Whitmore, another guy, young player out there for defense, but can also add some three-point shooting as well. Reed Shepherd, I bet he'll get a lot of run tomorrow. He's a young player, 20 years old, out of Kentucky. Was on some of those Kentucky teams that just really didn't go far in the tournament, but were super young, super talented. he's a high draft pick. I'm sure he will get some run. So looking at Houston as a whole, as the team overall, when they're fully healthy, they're a really good rebounding team. They're number one in the NBA in rebounds per game at about 48.7. So that's the strength of this team. The other strength of this team is defense. They play defense as a whole unit. They're fifth in opposing points per game at 109.2. This is where the weakness comes in. They play a lot of ISO ball, and I think this is going to come back to bite them in the playoffs. They're actually 28th in assists per game, with only about 23. So they get into a lot of ISO ball, a lot of everyone get out of the way, but I don't think that they don't have the talent from the scoring position, I think, to really go far. You don't have a Luka Doncic or LeBron James, things like that. Their best player, Jalen Green's a really good player, but is he Steph Curry? No. Is he Luka Doncic? No. Is he Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? No. There's a lot of guys you take above them, and their number two is not even close to a lot of other teams' number two. I'd probably be Şengün. It's debatable. Maybe Thompson. Depends on who you ask. But and then on offense, they're 13th in points per game at 114. So the team is built on rebounding and defense. That's the foundation of a good team. But the Lakers held them under 100 last time they played. The Lakers really took it to them. It was a hard-fought game. I remember mentioning it after the game. It kind of felt like it was a 90s style of basketball. It was a fun game to watch. Low scoring. Points were at a premium. In the first quarter, the Rockets were leading 19-16. Rarely do you see that in the NBA today, where some scores getting up in the 40s, 30s, 40s. Just look at that second Oklahoma City game where there was no defense played. But Houston's a team that they're not super respected as far as title contenders. I think people are still on a wait and see. They're really young. They felt like maybe in Oklahoma City, but not as talented from a year ago, where, again, all the talent in the world, but are they really going to put it together? I still think they're behind Oklahoma City, the Lakers, the Warriors. Hell, I'd even take Minnesota over them. If they get Minnesota in the first round, I don't think that's a very good matchup for them, because Gobert and all them down low can really match up with some of the size problems and rebounding. And Anthony Edwards, the best player on the floor. So with Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle, I think they could run into some problems with really their first time in the playoffs in years, and first time being a legit contender. But that should be a good game. Of course, they're having people back because, as always, everyone gets healthy when they play the Lakers. But Lakers play win one more game, so either Houston or Portland on Sunday, and they will be that number 3 seed. And I think the big thing here is if you beat Houston, you can rest everyone against Portland, because that game doesn't matter, and then you have a week off because you're sitting and watching the playing games. And I mean, we're going to get into in the next video a little bit about potential first round matchups as things start to come in here. But if the Lakers were to play the Clippers or somebody where they're not even leaving Los Angeles for a week or two, and we know us Laker fans are going to invade the Intuit Dome, this could be really good for LeBron and resting and the health of the team. So lock it up, win this game. Vegas expects them to. Favored by 9.5. As I said, point total at 225.5. And Houston probably missing some pieces. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you, as always, for checking this out. And Alan's going to get you guys on the morning show, per usual, and then doing the post-game show at night.